Hi guys, no reading of the Ultimate Guide to Warhammer this week. I unfortunately don't have time to set that all up and edit it, but still getting a video this week. We need to talk about something, and frankly, I need your help. And I don't want like actuallys, I want like genuine help because you guys know I'm still fairly new to Warhammer, even though my painting skills are pretty goddamn good. As far as lore goes, I'm not the most educated, even though I do listen to a daily podcast. Okay, I am listening to Bricky's Adeptus Ridiculous podcast, but I don't like his YouTube videos. So here's the thing. One of my goals for 2026 is to pick an army, build and paint said army, and then learn how to play tabletop. It's going to take a good amount of time to do all that. But so going into 2026, I want to have a plan of which army I want to do. Now, here are the contenders and why they are contenders. First, Death Guard, World Eaters, Necrons, and Tyranids. Okay, those are what I'm slightly considering currently. Also, potentially Iron Warriors, because someone said you could do a Demon Regiment. That might be kind of cool. I need an explanation on the Iron Warriors Demon Regiment thing. If someone wants to drop that lore, I would like that, because I do like the demons. Okay, let's get into it. Death Guard. Why I want to do Death Guard. If you have been following this journey, you know it originally all started with a random audio TikTok suggested for me, and everyone was commenting about Papa Nurgle. Now, I had no idea what Papa Nurgle was. I felt like I was being left out of a damn joke, and that is what spawned me getting into Warhammer. So because Papa Nurgle started it all, Death Guard is kind of an obvious choice, though I don't actually think I would enjoy painting an entire army. However, I have a shitload of Death Guard stuff. I have the Death Shroud. I have a named character. I have a Blight Hauler. And then I also have Nurglings and Beast of Nurgle done. And then technically I do have a Kugloth proxy and a Great Unclean One proxy. So as far as Death Guard goes, I have a lot. I have 4 pieces plus the Blight Hauler and then Nurglings and Beast of Nurgle that are all official GW, and they're all done. They're all completely done, ready to go tabletop. They're done. So as far as like pieces already completed, Death Guard is in the lead. But I don't actually necessarily want to. I just think as far as like time spent and money spent, it's the most financially and time-wise economical option, just because I already have a bunch done. Okay, next, World Eaters. I'm a corn girly, and I know you're like, oh my god, I thought you'd be Slaanesh, and I would be, but after building the Demonites of Slaanesh, which was a nightmare, I don't want to do anymore. And I also did Keeper of Nightmares. That was also hard as hell to build. I don't know what is up with the Slaanesh models for AOS, but not doing that. But I do have Emperor's Children. I have some sets from Emperor's Children, including Lucius the Eternal, that I will be building and doing. So I do have stuff for Slaanesh, but I think they're just going to be more fun stuff to do. But as far as World Eaters go, I have 0 completed. 0. However, in my unfinished box currently, I have some Chaos Space Marines. I think I have 2 of those. I have Lord Virulent, the guy on the big thing. Lord Discontent, which actually I ordered Lord Vigilant. I don't know, whatever. That one was like $50 on Amazon, and they sent me this one, which is $75. I didn't complain. I didn't return it. I kept it. So I have this for Chaos Space Marines. I also have this set, and this is the Accursed Cultist. And then currently in my P.O. box, which I have to go check sometime soon, is another box of Chaos Space Marines someone sent me. But then I also have a Skull Taker and I have a Demon Prince. But these are all undone, but purchased and ready to go. So again, that's why World Eaters is in the running. And also, I vibe with Khorne. Granted, I like Slaanesh and I love the coloring of Emperor's Children. I'm actually super excited to do the Emperor's Children sets I have. But as far as my first army goes, Emperor's Children and Slaanesh are not going to be it. But okay, this is what I have for Chaos Space Marines for Khorne. And then next up is Necrons. Necrons was actually the first box that I did. I had no idea what I was buying. 0. I just bought them. It was like $35 and I could get here overnight just to start something. Okay, so Necron Immortals I have. Necron Wraiths I have. And I have Orkran the Diviner and Imhotep. So again, I'm ahead of the game on Necrons because the Immortals are done. And the Wraiths are done, which are some videos I posted. The Wraith I posted here, the Necron was for somewhere else. And I think I would enjoy painting the Necrons and building them. They're kind of finicky. But there are a bunch of models I want to do, and I think I would have fun doing like the neon stuff on them as far as painting goes. But I don't know. They're in the running. And also, apparently, they're super strong on tabletop. They're super strong on tabletop, especially if you have a Catan. So Catan Shard. Um, oh, I kind of always am liking the Necrons. And then lastly is Tyranids. And you guys know how I feel about Tyranids, okay? Your girl loves them. Like, come on. Look how pretty these turned out. These are my Carnifexes. I immediately want another set. Immediately. And I also have Tyranid Warriors fully completed, and I have a Tyranofex in its box. So again, for Tyranids, I have some done, not really. These prawns I'd probably need to redo though, because I did not do the connection thing for that, but nah, I don't fucking care. These are fun. Plus, I already have a color scheme for said army. So Tyranids are really in the lead as far as they're not hard for me to build with my nails. And I think I would love painting them, especially now that I genuinely have a full-on color scheme that I can go with for every piece and build off of this like brand or whatever. So Tyranids are in the lead. But then it comes down to, what the fuck do I need? How many points am I like? How many points do I need to build and paint for my first army? 2,000? Is that kind of like the general consensus? Do I build a 2,000 point army? And then what do I buy for that said army? You know what I mean? Like, pretty much everything from Tyranids I want to build. Oh, I also have Brood Coven done for Tyranids, even though I don't know if you can play that together. And then also there was something called Monster Mash, where you just pretty much do big guys on the thing that equal out like however many points. But if I'm being honest, I'm leaning towards Tyranids just because I have to be motivated and excited to build and paint the army. If I'm being totally honest, I have to be willing and excited to do it. And so far right now, it is just Tyranids that I'm excited to do. So Tyranids are leading. And then I'd probably say Necrons are second. And then like Death Guard and World Eaters are tied for third. But Death Guard, I'm already ahead of the game. I have the most completed pieces already. And then I have a bunch of Chaos Space Marine stuff, it's just not done. And I have a little bit of Necron stuff and a little bit of Tyranid stuff. But as far as I want, because, it's going to take a while to build and it's going to take a while to paint. And during that time, I can read the codex. I can understand what each thing actually does on the model. I can, start looking at the rules. And I do actually have people locally to me that will teach me how to play. Now, I have been into an official Warhammer store, and I will say the employees, super nice, super chill, very friendly. The customers, on the other hand, very much like, what are you doing in here? And every time I've gone in there to buy paint, which is twice, I've been in there more times than that, but twice I've gone in specifically to buy paint, and every single time I go, they're playing games, which they're there for that. It's a small store, but it's the same fucking guy blocking the paint, and he does not move for people blocking, and he bumped into me multiple times. And it's like, I get it, you're there to play the game. You're probably a super regular there, valid, but like, I'm there to spend money. I'm there to spend money, and now I won't because of that vibe that's in there, where it's like, even when I go in for like the free mini, it's kind of like I'll spend my money fucking elsewhere, which thankfully I have a local hobby store, which is women owned. And I think there's only like one male employee. It's women owned. There's a woman manager. It's a very chill vibe in there. And the owner is super cool every time I have talked to her. And she said that they have a group of guys that come in and play. But those same group of guys are very willing and excited to teach new people how to play Warhammer. And I actually got to meet them one time. And they were like, oh my God, we'll teach you. We'll go slow. We'll explain everything. He's like, if you actually want to learn how to play tabletop, we will absolutely teach you. Sorry, my cat's food is going off. But they were super chill. And they were like, if you just want to do the hobby part, that's totally fine. You could end up, we could pay you to commission paint for us or whatever. He's like, but if you do want to learn, we will take our time. We'll explain it. We always want more people to play. So the vibe there is totally different than like the official Warhammer store, which I'm glad for. So I do have people that can teach me in real life how to play. My question for you guys is, I'm like 75% sure I'm going to be Tyranids, but what do I get? Because I obviously will get a new set of Carnifexes. I have a Tyrannofex that's unbuilt and unpainted, and I have warriors that are already done. So I know I need, what else? What else do I need? I want to do the little ones with the guns that are like those ones. I do want to paint that set, and that set's actually super cheap. But like, how many points do I need for my first army? Is 2,000 the standard? Is 1,000 the standard? Because obviously I know you can play different games at different points, but do I just shoot for 2,000? Is that kind of like the standard? That's something I don't know, and I want your guys' help with. And again, I do think I will end up building and painting multiple different types of armies. Like, I'll probably eventually do Death Guard, World Eaters, Emperor's Children, probably not Thousand Suns, even though I do have some AOS Zinch stuff. Probably not Thousand Suns because I don't really like the vibe of the blue and gold. I don't like it. But also, again, with Death Guard, I have completed pieces, but if I was to do Death Guard, I would not do them in those colors because I don't really vibe with the Nurgle Rock color. It looks cool, but I like this kind of vibe. So if I did do Death Guard, what I have completed already and what I would complete in the future would not match. Also, do they have to all match? Do they have to all match? Do they have to all match? That's another thing, because like I'm on a kick of like teals and purples and pinks. But I might go red. I don't know. Do they all have to match? I might change my mind halfway through. I don't know. Anyways, this is the video for this week. Please chime in the comments. Should I just go with Tyranids since I'm like 75% sure that's what I want to do? Because I'm so excited to paint more Tyranids. Oh my god, I cannot wait. I want to build my Tyrannofex so much, but I'm so busy this week. And then, okay, so how many points? Should I just go with Tyranids? What should be my backup? What do I buy? Do I need to buy like the Horde style of play for Tyranids? Or should I go Monster Mash for my first style? Like, so I would love some input from you guys. Obviously, I'm either going Chaos or Xenos because we don't support the Emperor in this house. Also, oh, the Iron Warriors thing. That's another... Someone dropped a comment like that. I don't know if it was here or TikTok, but explain that to me. Because what demons can you use for that? Because that would also interest me in the future, but I have no understanding. So, but let's just take a look and admire my Tyranids again. I mean, could they be more perfect? Actually, I do think if I do them again, I think I will make the actual like skin part, like what's purple on here and what's teal on here, make it a little bit more translucent. Probably a little bit more translucent. But, my God. Could they be more perfect? Okay, sorry for ranting, but I have a lot of questions. And, again, I'm like 75% sure I'm going to go with Tyranids just because the commitment to basically build an army from zero and paint said army and not get sick of it. I think Tyranids is kind of the only thing I would do. And, again, I have other pieces I can do to, like, as a palette cleanser in between the Tyranids if I do get sick of them. I do have I have so many boxes that are uncompleted. So many boxes. Also, last question, most importantly, how do you play Be'lakor? Because I have a Be'lakor, and I know it's like, okay, you have to use Chaos Space Marines, but they have to be like not specific factions. Like you can't use EC for like Emperor's Children for Be'lakor. But how do you play Be'lakor? And like, would the Demon Prince go with Be'lakor, or is it just unfactioned Chaos Space Marines? I don't understand that. I don't understand how to play Be'lakor, and also would it even be worth playing Be'lakor? Because if I'm gonna make Chaos, I have Chaos Space Marines, but do they go for Khorne or do they go for Be'lakor? I don't know. I need help. Thank you in advance.